Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Sipamota, aka the ZuluMachine, and today, guys, we are gonna be asking ourselves, is tourism dead, guys? So, if you're asking yourself also, stay tuned, guys, because I'm gonna be showing you a few videos that are gonna be making you decide or telling you information that gonna make you decide if tourism is dead or not, or it's gonna be dead. But without wasting any time, guys, if you want to participate in our small video today that is very interesting, please leave the comments below and remember to subscribe to the channel for more content and give a like, guys. So let's get into the video. Yeah.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
So guys, as you know, we've been locked down for a couple of years and everyone's thinking about this. Is tourism going to come back? Is tourism ending? About all of that. Basically, today I'm here to focus on those videos, and basically today we're going to start with looking at South Africa on their own and see what airliners are happening or coming out of South Africa so that you can think about traveling out abroad. That's going to be there, and we're also going to talk about Southern African countries as a whole, and also East African countries and Indian Ocean islands that are under Africa, basically. So we're going to talk a bit of that, and also we're going to talk about Phuket and a bit of news from Israel and Australia, and also we end up with Bali. So let's start our talk, guys, with South Africa. So as you know, guys, my home and my lovely place I'm gonna be in South Africa, guys. I stay in South Africa, and I traveled from South Africa to do anything else. So that's why I will start with South Africa, specifically just South Africa. So basically, if you want to know what airlines are actually running right now in South Africa, this information, this information is only from last week. It was published 22 February, and it might have been updated and be wrong right now. So that's a disclaimer for all of the information I'm going to share now. If the information is basically older than a month, it might have changed or not. You never know. There might be new airlines coming in. But anyway, so the airlines that are coming out of South Africa basically is Air Botswana, Air France, Air Peace, Air Link, Air Mauritius, Seychelles, Austria, BA, Comair, BA, British Airlines, Cam Air, Delta Airlines, Egypt Air, Fly West Air, Kenya Air, KLM, LMA, Lufthansa, Profighter Zambia, Qatar, obviously, Rwanda Air, Singapore, South African Airways, obviously, and Swiss Airways, and TAAG, I don't know what that means, Turkish Airways, Vision Atlantic, Uganda Airlines, and United Airlines. So those are the fleets that are leaving South Africa and coming into South Africa. So those are the latest ones that I know about. So there might be different destinations you're going to go to, but remember, if you exit South Africa, you're gonna have to find out your destination, where are you going, what you do, but check if there's quarantine you're gonna be doing when you're going there, bro. And yeah, so there's all the pre-requirements. Most of the countries, they'll require you to have a certificate for COVID-19 and also insurance for COVID-19, and what else? Or obviously have a mask, guys. It's a standard requirement if you want to leave South Africa, and every flight wants you to have a mask. So all of those fleets that we talked about, and make sure that you have your passport, guys, and you're not under 18, flying alone, ever. And any visa that's required, you want to check on your own, guys, which country you want to be going. There's a few things I know when you're going out of South Africa. And if you're coming into South Africa, we suggest, or if you're going in and to check out in the airport, we suggest, as usual, 3 to 4 hours so that you'll know everything. And remember to print every document if you're going to be flying out of South Africa. Print every document that you need, even your other certificates, your health certificate, your COVID-19 certificates, your booking for the place you're going to be staying in for quarantine. Maybe if there's quarantine, please print everything so that you'll be safe, guys. Besides that, there's a lot of regulations that I'll be going through each, but for COVID-19 insurance, guys, there are many companies, but I will suggest that you guys go for the Safety Wing, guys. Safety Wing has a couple of products in their arsenals that are actually going to be useful for you. As I said, guys, if you want to go overseas, I would suggest looking at Safety Wing, guys, on their Nomad insurance, guys, because Nomad insurance is the most, I think, the most cheapest one of them all for anyone who's going to be traveling overseas and actually getting covered for COVID-19, guys. And I'll try as much as I can to show you the benefits of having the digital Nomad, because it has the medical side and the travel side onto it. There are two different things that are going to be specific, and you have to you can specify how many days you want to be covered on, and you can also actually choose a monthly fee where you're going to pay for 4 weeks, like the $42 default for 4 weeks, guys. So those are the two those are one of their products they're doing. So if you want to join it and actually use that digital nomad insurance, the Safety Wing is the company, guys. Please click on my link below. I'll put the safety wing in the description below, guys. So hopefully you can click that and register and get your COVID-19 covered, guys, when you're traveling overseas. Anyway, besides that, let's start. Okay, let's start with our, what do you call it? Southern African countries, guys. So, okay, so right now we're going to be speaking about Southern African countries. So basically, Southern African countries, you know that I'm gonna be working with different categories for you guys. I will also show you the list of the categories and the list here. Basically, it's going to be a country, and it's going to tell you if the airport is open, land is open, and PCR priority to before arrival, and PCR testing for minors, and also PCR testing necessary for with their vaccination certificate, and also quarantine on arrival and other national COVID protocols if you need to know. So those are the few things that you're going to be talking about. So the first one, I know this is going to be a mouthful. So first one, Botswana, basically all the airports are open and all their land borders are open. And also it requires you to have a PCR prior to arrival, guys, as from the 1st of December, you need to have a vaccine certificate before landing there. And from from the 14th of February, guys, you have to be fully vaccinated travel for 12 years and over. So everyone should be vaccinated from 12 years and over, guys. That's what the updated was said around the 14th of February. And they no longer need a negative PCR result. Unvaccinated travelers who were required to unvaccinated travelers will require to have a 72-hour PCR before departure. Regardless of their PCR test, you will also be asked for a rapid test at the border. Until such time, we will receive further clarification. Okay, basically, it's a bit of a mix of both because they keep changing this thing. But it doesn't stop you from going to Botswana if you're unvaccinated, but you need the PCR. And basically, if you are fully vaccinated from 12 years and over, you don't longer need a negative PCR. But they might change that. So that's what I'm saying. All of this information might change in the future. And PCR for minors less than 5 years, yes, it is required for those guys, for your babies, guys. So if you have a young baby, you might require PCR stuff. PCR, yes, it is. Until further clarification, yes, I would say yes, just do it for further clarification, because they're saying a lot of things about, that are changing. So just have your PCR even if you're vaccinated, guys, just in case they change the rules while you're flying. So have it. And quarantine arrival no longer necessary unless showing symptoms or receiving a positive test. So if you get a positive test in Botswana, you might be required to quarantine on arrival, but it's no longer necessary right now. And Botswana has a curfew between 10 and 4 a.m. It's a mandatory curfew, and also you have to have a mask when wearing it in public places. So please take care of that. Have your mask with you whenever you're going to public spaces. Woo, okay, number two. I thought this one would be quick. Number two, Mozambique, guys. Mozambique actually requires you. Mozambique, the airports are open and their land borders are open also. And basically, they require a 72-hour PCR test before you arrive to the countries. and they don't test minors, guys. If you have a minor currently right now, they don't test minors, but they do require you to have basically what do you call it, a vaccination certificate. So you need to have that vaccination certificate, so it means that you have to be fully vaccinated, and also have your PCR test 72 hours before arriving to the place. That's the first one. The other one is quarantine on arrival. So quarantine arrival is basically no, unless you are tested positive, or your PCR is older than 72 hours. That's when you can actually get into trouble. But not trouble, you're going to be quarantined on arrival. I don't know how many days it is. It doesn't specify on this side. That's for Mozambique. Otherwise, the curfew time is 10 and 5 a.m., guys. So, yeah, we're no more late drinking, guys, or late partying. Remember, from 10 to 5, that's a curfew they have in Mozambique. And right now, we're going to move on to Namibia. Namibia, yes, land borders are open, airports are open, guys. And again, on arrival PCR test, they require a 72-hour, I'll call it, they require a negative 72-hour PCR test when you arrive in Namibia. And basically, it must be, when you arrive, you have to sign and date it by the medical certificate practitioner. So you have to have a practitioner signing your certificate that you did test it, and they know the date, which one was it. And you have to check african.org/travel for adequate labs. I don't know what those adequate labs are, but I think all over the world there are specific labs they have to sign it for. All travelers will be screened on arrival, and those who are presenting with the symptoms will require to have a COVID test. So on arrival, you're gonna be if you are found with symptoms, you're gonna have to do a COVID test, guys. There's a thing about Namibia, and PCR for minors is not required. That's another one. And PCR necessary with certificate. Yes, you must have a fully vaccinated, and also PCR on arrival. And when you are on arrival, guys, there's no requirement to quarantine in Namibia unless you are tested negative or you arrive without a PCR. So if you arrive without a PCR test, guys, you will have to quarantine. So those are the two ways you can quarantine: if you are tested positive or you arrive without your PCR test. And yes, the country requires you to wear mandatory mask, guys, for public places. I don't see anything about curfews on Namibia, so for now there's no curfews. And for South Africa, South African borders are open for everyone, guys. Okay, so South African borders are open for everyone, guys. Airports and land borders. Basically, they require you to have a negative PCR for 72 hours before the departure of your flight. Also signed and dated by your practitioner or medical practitioner. All travelers must be screened on arrival. Those presenting symptoms and what would require to have a COVID test. And also, they don't test minors. Minors, they are not required to actually have a PCR, so they don't test minors. And yes, you must be fully vaccinated. That is a requirement. When you come into South Africa, you must be fully vaccinated, guys. And on arrival quarantine, there's no required for quarantine, guys. When you arrive in South Africa, you don't need to quarantine. Only if you're positive or you arrive without a PCR, guys, you're gonna need to quarantine for a specific number of days. Those days might be changing, but last time I checked, it was 10 days in South Africa if you have COVID or have anything positive. I think it was 10 days self-quarantine first, and after that, if you have any problem, you can go to a medical facility that can assist you. But anyway, that's it. And also, guys, the rules around South Africa, you have to have mask on all public places. Mask everywhere. If you get out of your house, just have a mask. They're really serious about that. And all travelers, questionnaire on arrival. Basically, a questionnaire you have to sign and blah 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 and all of that when you arrive upon arrival. That's other things. That's what they do. Or when everyone arrives in South Africa, they have to sign this questionnaire thing and make sure that you sign it honestly. Yeah, that's the only thing. And there was a curfew, but I think the rules have changed. I think there's no curfew right now. I can't remember, guys. For my country, I don't remember what curfew it is. But yeah, so this is South Africa. And for Zambia, basically Zambia, all airports and land borders are open, guys. And next topic is the PCR on arrival on Zambia. Let's double check that one. As from the 6th of December 2021, a valid certificate will be required to be presented on arrival. Negative PCR test for 72 hours, guys. So on the 72 hours, negative PCR test. And they don't need a PCR test for minors, but for adults, they do need a PCR test. And you must have a fully vaccinated certificate, guys, so that you can arrive in Zambia. Another one is that quarantine on arrival. Basically, no, there's no requirement for that. And there are no specific rules around mask and other curfew things for it. Anyway, I'll share this website link, guys, on the description if you also want to read yourself the more descriptive stuff. I'm just picking over the more relevant things that I think they're more important. And the last country on the southern countries in Africa, it's Zimbabwe, guys. So if you're arriving in Zimbabwe, yes, all land borders and flights are open. You need to have a negative PCR test for 48 hours before departure. Symptoms arriving will be, if you have symptoms on arriving, you will be retested at the airport, and valid vaccinated certificate is required, guys. And yes, they need a PCR test also for the baby or a young one from 5 years and going down below. And for adults, yes. Quarantine on arrival is not required for Zimbabwe, but there is a curfew between 10 and 5:30. So you'll be aware of that curfew. No more patching there a lot, guys. So be careful of that. So that's all we have about the beautiful countries in the southern of Africa, or southern African countries in Africa, basically. So now let's see what happens in the East African countries, guys. Those are the requirements. Protocol. Basically, in Kenya, if you go in Kenya, all borders are open, land and sea. Oh no, land and airport. Yeah. They do require a PCR test before landing. That means 72 hours before or from departure. I mean, from departure. Yeah, 72 hours from departure. And they require a full vaccination certificate. Children under 18 are exempt from this vaccination. So you have to prove that you're vaccinated. Otherwise, if you're under 18, you're exempt from this check. And they don't require minors for PCR tests, but they need a certificate for anyone who's going to be arriving there. And other thing is that you quarantine on arrival. Arriving without a negative PCR test equals to 14 days, guys, of quarantine. So make sure you have your PCR test in Kenya, guys, when you're arriving. Otherwise, you will be quarantined for 14 days. Temperature screening will happen for 14 days if you show symptoms, guys. If you show symptoms, they will basically do some screening there. I don't know how you're gonna do it. I have never done it before, but be aware if something is if you are positive, guys, when you're arriving or you have symptoms, the quarantine of 14 days will happen. It's a long day, so be aware. Anyway, let's get over that. And other things that are mandatory, I think there's a mask mandatory in public places, guys. Public places require you to have a mask, guys, in public areas. So be aware of that. Public areas in Kenya, mask. Anyway, Rwanda, everything is open, guys. Airport, land borders, they're all open. And they require you to have a negative COVID-19 test 72 hours prior to departure. Prior to departure. And also they don't need a PCR for babies younger than 5 years old. And they require you to be fully vaccinated if you're an adult, guys. Fully vaccinated. And that's a big thing. So quarantine basically is no, but a mandatory PCR test must be performed on the travelers' third day in the Rwanda at their own cost and at the designated testing sites. There are designated testing sites that you're gonna have to find out when you're going to Rwanda, guys. Camp Kilangi or nearest province of the district hospital for those not in Kilangi. Yeah, so you're gonna have to check where you're going to be going. Those are the few examples they have. I'm gonna put all this information, guys, not in the description. I'm just gonna put it in front of my face a bit. I'll try to see. I'll put the link for all of this information on our description, guys, so that everyone can understand where to get them. And there's a curfew, guys, from 11. Just check if it's 11:00. From 11 until 4 a.m. in Rwanda, guys. So You must know that. And if you're going to Zanzibar, Tanzania, guys, yes, you can go there. Airports are open, land borders are open, but they require you to have a COVID-19 test 96 hours prior to departure. The test should be based on a real-time polymerase chain reactor. So it's a RT-PCR. Oh, I do not know how that is, but it's a RT-PCR. So we have to make sure you have that one. It's a different kind of PCR. I don't know if there are different kinds, but it's the first time I heard there's a different kind of PCR. But this is the real-time PCR, basically. It's a RT-PCR. So get that. And also, they don't require a PCR for kids under the age of 5, and you must be fully vaccinated traveling there. And the other thing is that on arrival, travelers who are tested positive on their results, rapid tests will be allowed to self-isolate at the location of their choosing of their choice for a period of 14 days or more until they are tested negative on their real-time PCR, on the RT-PCR, guys. So be aware of that. So if you found positive, guys, you will be required to self-isolate in your own choosing where you want to choose. Otherwise, if you're not positive, you are free to go, guys. You're free to go. And there is a curfew from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. in Zanzibar, so be aware of that. No parties late, I guess. And in Uganda, guys, also in Uganda, they're basically all borders are open, land and flight or airports. And all passengers or travelers must present a negative PCR tested issued more than 48 hours before boarding aircraft. Yeah, so for 72 hours, I mean, more than 72 hours before boarding the aircraft. And yes, they require PCR for a baby less than 5. Yes, they require it, and also adults must be fully vaccinated. There is no quarantine on arrival, guys. So no quarantine on arrival on Uganda. Basically, you're gonna be enjoying yourself if everything is negative. But if you are positive, guys, for COVID-19, they will be taking you to the treatment center for a repeat for treatment outside of Uganda at their own cost. Is it right? At their own cost. Okay, let's so if a person tests positive on COVID-19, they will be taken to a treatment center or a treatment for treatment outside of Uganda at their own cost. Okay, I don't know what that is, but that means you're gonna get a place where you can stay so that they can heal you if you're positive and take care of you until you're negative. Then they'll bring you back when you're negative, I guess. Yeah. Okay, it's a bit tricky, but be aware, guys. If you want to travel, I'll keep saying this: double check your information before you go, print everything before you go. And there are rules in Uganda, guys. They have a curfew from 10 to past 4 mandatory mask wearing in public. All travelers to complete their travel health questionnaire prior to arrival and upon arrival. So you have to finish your questionnaire, guys, when you're arriving in Uganda. I think those are the eastern countries in Africa, guys. East African countries, guys. Those are some of them. I don't know if it's all of them, guys, but those are some of them that I had. And the other ones that I have now, it's going to be Indian Ocean Islands. Those are just specific islands that belong under Africa. So the first one, guys, is Madagascar. Madagascar, yes, the airports are open, but land borders are closed. I don't know if any other countries can get to Madagascar with the land border, but it is closed. PCR testing prior to arrival. Yes, all our travelers are required to test negative for COVID on arrival. It is the nose, but no ZB. I don't know what it means. Free testing is provided at the airport upon arrival. So basically, you're gonna be having a free test on arrival. It's not clear if the PCR is required for kids less than 5 years, and it's not clear if you have to be fully vaccinated. So I would suggest you just get fully vaccinated before you travel anyway. And on arrival, it's not clear also. So you're gonna have to check with your government or anything when you're going to the country, because it's definitely not clear if you're required to quarantine on arrival. But other rules that you have to wear a mask in public places. So yeah, mask everywhere, guys. And number 2 is Maldives, guys. Yes, Maldives. as land and airports open, guys. So tourism are required to produce a PCR certificate or a test result indicating that their negative status was taken 72 hours prior to departure. About 72 hours prior to departure, guys, to go into Maldives, and they don't require PCR for kids less than 5 years. And the PCR testing vaccine for full vaccination, yes, they require you to be fully vaccinated if you're going to Maldives. So you must be fully vaccinated, guys. And on arrival, everyone entering in Maldives for a purpose other than tourism will be subjected to a 14-day quarantine on arrival and must register on the Halulube portal. Halubelum portal. I hope I'm saying it right, guys. So to understand this, everyone entering Maldives for a purpose other than tourism will be subjected to a 14-day quarantine on arrival and must register on the Halulem portal. Oh, okay. So that's what you need. If you are going to Maldives, guys, double check that. They might have changed the rules. So double check it with the agent, guys, and everything. And tourists are not allowed to travel to other islands or the capital city of Mali. Mandatory wearing masks in public, guys. So whichever place you're going to be booking to, you're going to be staying there forever because you're not allowed to travel to other islands and everything. That's how it is right now. So hopefully they will improve on that or they will change that. Okay, the next one in the list. Oh, let's have a sip. Ooh. The next one in the list, guys, is Mauritius. And yes, Mauritius land and airports are open. So you're going to be happy with that. And if you have present a negative PCR tested within 72 hours of departure, and yes, they require kids to have a PCR, and also you must be fully vaccinated when you're going to Mauritius, guys. And no quarantine on arrival, so no quarantine related to arrival, guys. I hope the noise of the machine is not hearing on that. Anyway, besides that, no quarantine on arrival, guys, and you must wear a mask in public, guys. It's a mandatory thing. Wear a mask in public, that's it. And in Seychelles, yes, everything is open, guys. Land and airports are open. All travelers must prove of a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test that is done less than 72 hours prior to departure to Seychelles, guys. Yeah, and yes, they require PCR tests for minors less than 5 years, and they require a fully vaccinated certificate for anyone going to Seychelles. And on arrivals, quarantine, there's no quarantine, guys, in Seychelles, and you must wear a mask in public areas. I think those are the countries I had to talk about that were in Africa, guys. Hopefully those were clear to you. I will put the link for the website that I got this information on so that you can also check on all of the countries that I was talking about, and hopefully it's going to be worth it. It's too much information. I can't put all of it on my channel description, but that's how it is, guys. That's how it is. And remember, guys, all of this information might have changed by the time you're watching the video, so be aware to double check everything before you go to wherever country you're going to. Yeah. Besides anything else, so we can jump into to check other countries that are more important, guys, like Phuket. So Phuket, guys, if you're going there, you have to apply for that visa they have, and it's still open for tourism, guys. Phuket is still open for tourism, and yes, last year they had a bit of COVID cases around like December, but Thailand is still open, and I will call it Thailand continues to battle about the COVID-19. It was last year, guys, but popular resorts in Phuket has reopened to vaccinated travelers, guys, without quarantine restriction. So if you're going to Phuket, guys, there is no quarantine restriction. If you're fully vaccinated, you want to enjoy your time. So I would suggest you do that. If you want to go to Phuket, get vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and you can go there and apply. But remember, there will be a visa that you have to apply for also. So double check your information if you're going to Phuket. I will not list everything here for any special visas or anything like that, but you're gonna have to double check all the information going to Phuket. Besides that, you got some good news from Israel, basically. I have never been to Israel, but it just popped up in my eyes that Israel is planning to open its border to all tourism, no matter if they are COVID vaccine status. no matter what COVID vaccinated. Basically, if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, by the 1st of March, Israel just decided we're gonna open their borders to everyone. So basically, the country is decided to this. We're gonna live with COVID now. COVID's part of their lives, so we decided we're gonna live with it. So this is gonna be the first country that's gonna be allowing people that are not unvaccinated to visit as tourism, guys. And it's been since March 2020. That's how long the country has closed itself or closed its borders, guys. Now they're gonna be opening them on March 1. So good luck with that to Israel. Hope everything goes well. Congrats to those decisions, guys. And another thing is that Australia will be welcoming international tourism as on Monday, guys. So they might be have already done that, but we'll see. I don't know if that went well or not, because they said Monday on this thing that was published last week. Yeah, it was published last week, 28th of February. Yeah. Anyway, so they're saying that this Australia will be opening its borders since 2 years of selling it. So you're gonna have to double check what type of things you have to do to get to Australia also, but they're opening their borders now for tourism. And the other one you had to talk about is Bali, guys. So we're gonna say congrats to Bali, their first flight to Bali, guys. First aircraft by it was a Singapore Airlines that was going to Bali. It had 109 intentional travelers and 47 Indonesian landed in Bali in Wednesday or on Wednesday. This is the older post. It was posted in the start of February. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so in Timpasa, attention reopens to foreigners tourism from Wednesday. Wednesday meaning that February 16th. The first international flight to Indonesia holiday is nearly 2 years, guys. So this is the first flight going to Bali, straight to Bali, guys. Not going to quarantine or anything. They went straight to Bali and they landed there. First tourism. So this is looking good, guys. I'm hoping everything is gonna be a bit clear about the quarantine process. It's not the same. It changes every time. So double check before you're going to Bali. What is the rules around the quarantining on arrival? And yes, you must be fully vaccinated if you're going to Bali, guys. Fully vaccinated. That's it. Those are the rules, and you have to apply. I think there are special visas now you have to apply for, but I don't know about this tourism if it's a general one on arrival visa. But foreign visas must be quarantined, bubbled, or for 27 designated hotels. I think there are specific hotels for tourism people. So double check all of the info, guys. Hopefully those infos that you're going to be getting is only valid one. I'm not going to share any website, guys. Disclaimer, I don't have this information. I'm just reading articles to you and the news I got for you, guys. So I will not be responsible for any decision you take. I'm just sharing information. This was just my own disclaimer, guys. Besides that, guys, for more questions that is tourism ending, I believe it's about to boom, guys. You know what's happening. So right now, if this year you don't have a new variant of COVID-19, just imagine. Okay, we can imagine, guys. We're allowed to imagine. If you don't have a COVID variant this year, a new one, we're gonna basically get tourism from where it was to like beyond where we started, because I think everyone's been anxious to travel. We've been sitting indoors, guys. We haven't went to our cool places for a couple of years. People have been dreaming about going back to Thailand and Bali and Hong Kong. Yes, I will not say anything about Hong Kong because I don't know the rules around it, but there's many places I wanted to go. I plan to go. I plan to go to like Italy, but now, you know, we're not sure about everything. But you know, we're gonna wait until COVID settles down and see what's gonna happen, guys. Yeah. But anyway, so you can answer yourself, guys. Tell me what you think about this. Is the actual tourism ending? Put it in the description, guys, and tell me what you're gonna think about it. Because all of this information to me, I don't know about you, it shows me that tourism is coming back, guys. We are getting back to line. Flights are coming back to South Africa. Now we're gonna have more flights going out. I'm hoping there's going to be even more than what we have right now. And as you know, guys, all the carriers are shared all the information I have here, I will put it down as links for you to read, guys, and double check your own for your own self, guys. Me, I won't be responsible for anything other than sharing these links with you, guys. Anyway, besides that, this is ZuluMachine signing out, guys. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel and give those likes, guys, and talk to me, guys, in the description. Start a debate. I'll join in on the description. I'm always willing to talk to you guys. Anyway, I'll see you on another video, guys, when we are unboxing things. We never know, guys, but we want to start talking about tourism even more, guys. Maybe I'll jump into more details about specific countries that I would want to visit to help anyone. Anyway, you can tell me in the description what you want me to research for you, if you want me to go into deeper details about a specific country for you, guys. Otherwise, this is ZuluMachine channel out, guys. I'll see you later. Peace out.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.